I hate beetroot. Or at least I did until recently. This is one of a couple of beetroot recipes that have really convinced me that beetroot can actually be very tasty. One of the reasons I love this recipe in particular is that it's a veggie casserole that really just needs a few minutes of prepping. The oven does most of the work. So chop, 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 into the oven, food is ready. For the nutrition buffs out there, this recipe has a bit of everything too. We've got sweet potatoes, we've got onions, we've got spring onions, we've got beetroot, we've got peanuts, we've got feta cheese. All of these add up to a very, very nutritional meal. You're going to get a lot of vitamins and nutrients from those. So let's get chopping, let's get it in the oven. Okay, the oven is preheating. It's on about 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's warming up, let's chop some veg. First up, 2 sweet potatoes. Let's get them into our baking tray and chop some beets. And we're going to chop those up into roughly the same size as the sweet potato.
Quick note from the cameraman, you can also use uncooked beets. So these are cooked now. They cook for at least 40 minutes, so roughly the same time as the sweet potatoes, which is pretty nice. But in this case here we use pre-cooked ones, they work pretty well as well.
And the onions. 1 medium onion should do it. These 2 are quite small, so I'll do both. Okay, so we'll get it in there and we'll get the olive oil, paprika powder and salt in there. Okay, we're going to give the veggies a good coating. So about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, a dash of salt. Going to give it all a good mix around. Make sure as much is coated as possible. And finally, half a cup of water, just to make sure everything gets properly covered and cooks even better. The oven is preheated. It's on 200 degrees Celsius, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to stick it in there for about 40 to 45 minutes. And I want to hear from you what your most hated food is. Did you hate anything as much as I hated beetroot? Leave a comment with a hashtag of your most hated food below. So we're going to move on to the sauce. It's a very simple one. It's literally the juice of a lime, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a little bit of salt. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, little salt. The last thing we need to do is chop our spring onions for garnish. So 45 minutes have passed. Let's give the potatoes a poke and see if they're ready. Those are looking great. The knife's gone right through. I'd say that's ready.
Yes.
So there we have our beets, sweet potato and onion.
Awesome, looking beautiful.
So we'll crumble on the feta cheese. That's about 150 grams or 5 ounces. Spring onions, it's about 2 spring onions. And a handful of peanuts. And of course, finally, we have our lime and oil dip. I'll try and drizzle that over as fairly as possible. Et voila! Or something like that. Pardon my French. We've got beets, we've got sweet potato, we've got spring onion, we've got feta cheese, we've got peanuts. This is one really quick to prepare, really nutritious veggie casserole. If it doesn't convince you to like beetroot, then I don't know what will. Subscribe, like, see you in the next video.